Joe Joe in the morning. What's up, family? I hope everybody's having a super good day. Want to jump in and I want to talk to you about something that is hopefully going to encourage you and excite you and get you moving forward. Now, before 2023 started, I released a prophetic word, and the word was the first 90 days of the 2023 American calendar year. Is the reason I say that is because some people follow a lot like the Hebrew calendar, which basically starts around September. But I'm talking about the American calendar year. The first 90 days is going to be shaking, and it's going to be a time of freedom and deliverance for a lot of people. A lot of people have resonated with this word. They've felt this extreme shaking. They've got delivered and walking in different levels of freedom. Second part of the word was the last 9 months of 2023 was going to be a time for you to build. Time to build. The Lord also gave me the word, if you heard me speak this word, was systems, structures, and strategies on just not what to build, but how to build. Because what God is doing in the earth right now, He needs all hands on deck. We were with Mr. Sid Roth a few weeks ago, and he told my wife and I and my oldest daughter that he said this is a all hands on deck, all in type season, that God is pouring out the glory to bring people in to move forward in what they're called to move forward in. And so you're going to hear me talk a lot the next 9 months about build what God has put inside of you, what he's put in your mind, what He's put in your heart, what God wants you to build. He may want you to build a business, a ministry. He may want you to start up something. I remember in 2 churches I worked at, I built prayer ministries at the church, added prayer meetings for the church, served my church, served my pastors I was with, because I knew that God wanted me to build extra prayer. That's one thing that we do at Roar Church. We do a whole lot of prayer meetings because I know the value of building a culture of prayer. So really want to encourage you in that. And as you're building, I want you to understand the spirit and the natural side of things. So, for example, I'm just going to make up something, writing books. If you want to write books, you need to pray. You need to ask the Lord about what to write about. He'll give you all this insight. There's a natural side of writing books. I don't really know it. I hire people to do it, okay? I hire people to facilitate all the management of my books, getting, to the publisher and all that. When it comes to YouTube, when it comes to social media, you just don't start doing videos. You have to learn best kind of camera, best kind of microphones, lighting. You start building. My wife and I, we custom built my wife's dream home. Been in it for about 8 months now. My wife walked in with our builder with a notebook, had every room already designed. My builder said, I've never seen anybody that had their stuff together like you. My wife said, I know exactly what I want. Did you know that God has a plan, structure, strategies, and systems for you? If you would just tap in. I love reading in the Old Testament when they talk about building temples and tabernacles, and even in one part of the Bible, it talks about how the sewage system would flow. God will give you details. God will give you details. I had somebody recently tell me, we're in a service, and they said, God gave me a song. And I said, cool. They said, no. God gave me a song. As He was giving me the song, this is where the guitars come in. This is where the drummer picks up the tempo. This is where the bass starts. I don't know the terminology. And they just went like, God gave me just like gave it to me. I know times in my life that when the Lord spoke to me about a certain business, I remember God told me to start a rent house business. I was like, man, I don't know anything about the rent house business, but I've always been intrigued by owning real estate. So, I asked a few people that I kind of knew, hey, you know anybody who really does this? And I know a few people nothing really opened up. And so I bought a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, probably the best books you could buy, and just about real estate. And then my mom told me, she said, hey, one of my prayer partners, her husband owns a few houses. You want to talk to him? I said, sure. So I went and talked to him. He said, yeah, I own a few houses. I said, oh, cool. How many's a few? I have 110 and they're all paid for. I'm like, you my guy. You are my guy. I think I ended up buying like 8 houses from him. And then I was talking to a pastor friend of mine, and he said, Joe, I got a guy in my church who's a older gentleman, really good guy, loves the Lord. So I went and met with this guy, and he said, yeah, I own 100 houses, and they're all paid for. And I would love to go to lunch with you and just talk to you about the housing business. I said, sure. God opened up. When I made an initiative to move forward, God just opened up. These gentlemen taught me systems, structures, and strategies. They talked about different programs that the government had. They told me who to stay away from, like what type of people to stay away from, which people to really get in there and help, which people, these are the questions you ask the renters. It just, all this stuff opened up to me. And I was like, wow, God, you just did it. When you make an effort, so don't ever say, man, I just don't know. I just don't know. I remember when I started writing books, there's 15 of them. I didn't really know what to do. One of my friends was like, Joe, I've kind of thought about doing book facilitation. And I said, you learn book facilitation, I'll learn writing, and let's do this together. And he jumped in. He still facilitates books, good price. He's done all of my books and helps a lot of other people. And so when you start building towards something, God will make all of the pieces fall into place for you. I knew one day I was sitting on my back porch and I was crying out to God, and I just said, God, my wife and I, we need a breakthrough in our finances and in my health. I just had a double lower hernia surgery, and I was praying, and the Lord spoke to my heart and said, call Pat Schatzline. And I said, call Pat Schatzline? He's a preacher. And the Lord said, call Pat Schatzline about that health program that he told you about. I said, oh yeah, Pat told me about a health program 3 years ago. Right then the door opens, and I look. My wife walked outside. She said, Joe, I feel like the Lord wants us to call Pat Schatzline about that health program with him and Miss Karen. Ask him about the program and the coaching aspect. And I said, okay. I called Pat up. I said, hey, Pat. He said, hey, what's up, JoJo? I said, man, you told me about a health program 3 years ago, and I said, I'm not interested right now. But I want to know about the program. I had a double lower hernia surgery, and it's just I'm not recuperating right. I need to drop about 10 pounds, and I'd like to know about the coaching aspect of it. He said, okay. I got on the program, became a coach. That's what all this is. They gave me a few awards, and been doing it 3.5 years. I dropped 55 pounds, still got it off. Autumn jumped on, dropped 25 pounds, and a lot of inflammation, still doing it. We've been coaching 3.5 years. I think we've helped close to 7,000 clients, and we got 280 coaches in our organization. Still going strong. Helped, I feel great. Totally shifted our finances. But I moved forward, and the Lord said, make a call to Pat. My wife gave me a confirmation, shifted our life. Shifted our life. What is on the inside of you? I've done this before. I'm doing it again. Roar Church. I really didn't want to start a church until I had some people kind of a confirmation to do it. I was scared to death to write books until I had confirmation to do it from the Lord and from people who said, we'll help you. Social media, I had 2 friends jumped in and helped me with YouTube starting off. I didn't know what to do health coaching. My guy, Pat Schatzline, him and Miss Karen jumped in with my wife and I. We're still running with them today. We're still doing the health program. Who knows, you may want to drop weight, walk in wellness, jump on our health program. I would love to help you with that. And also the coaching aspect is phenomenal. It's changed our life. So whatever's inside of you, God will bring the right people in your life at the right time to help you do what you're supposed to do. I could keep talking up here. I got some caps. Passion. I remember when I was young, I started listening to Passion Worship. Man, it was powerful. We have a conference I went to that I actually got to speak at. It was at Todd White's church. It was a powerful conference. It was kind of a health and a spiritual conference. This book right here, God's Generals, powerful book in my life. God will always put the right people. I got some stuff up here from Andrew Tao, from the Ramp Chattanooga. Got some stuff from the Ramp. Got some stuff up here from Sid Roth. God just opens doors to put you around the right people at the right time for the right thing. Okay? This is a building season. This is a building season. I've got books. I got books on my desk. This one right here. Bob Sorge in His Face. This book doesn't leave my desk, by the way. This book right here, Covenant with Your Eyes, Bob Sorge. I got this book and I'm like, I don't really know what Covenant with Your... why do I need to read this? I had no idea how a younger generation would struggle with pornography. Also, just not that, but people look at stuff and just want it. Sometimes some of the things you're reading may not be about you. I'm reading a book right now. This is another good book. I'm actually in this book. It's Revival Fires. They got Sid Roth, Bill Johnson, Randy Clark, Robert Slaridan, John Kilpatrick, James Gold, Pat and Karen Shatson, Michael Brown, the Arnotts, Ryan Lestrange, myself. 70 Days of Fire. I keep that on my desk at all time. I always keep different books that help me. I got some other books about mindset work, about how to never let your emotions get the best of you on a bad day. I've got different things about... What all I got up in here? I got books by Ed Millett, The Power of One More. In my desk drawer, I got some Kenneth Hagin up in here. You got to have some faith. So to build, I keep myself full. I got these babies right here. They go with me everywhere. I keep them in my ears all the time. I'm listening to YouTube videos, podcasts. Sometimes I got to throw on my upper room worship. I got to kick it with Eddie James, Rend the Heavens, Breakthrough. I'm always getting myself prepared to build. Building. Guys, this is a building season. What are you going to... Listen, those 15 books didn't happen overnight. The 100,000 subs on YouTube did not come overnight. These 4 awards that you see from Optavia in our health coaching community, and then I've got at different conferences that my coach had, it's like one a year. It's just a longevity of building. I remember we're building our house. My wife said it's taking forever to build it's a bigger 2-story house. Of course, it's going to take a while. And some of my friends were like, man, your house just went up so fast. But in the building process, it didn't feel like it went up fast. People with my YouTube, bro, your YouTube flew to 100. I'm like, to get 100,000 subs took a while. Man, you wrote 15 books real quick. No, it didn't. It took for a while. But when you're building, it seems like it takes a while. But when you get there, you're rolling. Start building now in what God has called you to build. This is your time to build. This is your time to thrive. This is your time to move forward, guys. Man, I love y'all. Hope this is helping you. This is JoJo in the morning coming at you with some real talk today. I would say roll your sleeves up, but I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. Roll your sleeves up. Don't be afraid to get dirty. Okay, the other day, Ezra and I were outside picking some weeds, and there's these certain type of weeds that I detest. I hate them, and we're picking them. And Ezra looks at me. He's a little worshiper. He's 10 years old, a little preacher guy. You know, he always, if you're a preacher, everything's an illustration. He said, I just noticed something. When I try to keep my hands clean and just pull the top, I don't get the root. But if I get my hand off down in the dirt, I pull up the root and this joker won't ever come back. I'm like, son, that is so good. It's just like anything else. You got to go deep. You got to work hard to get things and pull things out, because this is a building season. Some of you need to pull fear out by the root. You need to pull complacency out by the root. You need to get ready to build, because this is a season that if you will go all in with God, you will build things like you could never imagine. I love you guys. Hope this video blessed you today.